Oh man, so a really dark and red day today for crypto. We've got Bitcoin at one point as low as 38,200 Phantom, dipping below $1. And in this video, I'm going to explain whether I was wrong with Phantom all along, whether my strategy was wrong, and what I'm going to do going forward. We're going to look at the crypto charts. We're going to look at the Bitcoin key levels of support and resistance. I'm going to share where I think the price could be heading to next. We're also going to do the same for Phantom and look at some of the trends that could be causing this, because this is getting very serious now. So make sure you stay tuned till the very end. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. These videos are brought to you by my very own course member live streams. Check out ijaz.uk/member to become a member if you like my perspectives. Now, let's take a look at the chart and Phantom. This is not a fun chart now. You can see another week in the red. And if we head over to the daily charts, you can see that the daily candle here actually whipped below $1 here on Phantom. What does that mean? Are we all wrong? Is this suddenly now a bad investment? And was I wrong all along? Well, we're going to have to find out, because currently today here on Bitcoin, we're seeing a little bit of strength coming since. You can see the wick on this candle here. But the daily candle threw us all the way down to 38,200 today, getting a lot of people worried. And you can see that's because it's lower than this candle, which we had on the 18th of April, just over a week ago. So this is now a lower low here on this shorter time frame, which means we're now trending downwards in this pattern. Now, this larger pattern, we're still technically trending upwards, okay? So we need to look at the next pivot point. And the next pivot point comes in at about here at 37,000. So we need to keep an eye out on this level, the 37,700 level here. And then the next pivot point comes at our support line of 37 flat. That's the 37,000 level mark, which we have to keep an eye out, okay? If we lose those, then we can talk about getting back towards the bottom of the wedge at 34,000, 33,000. So these are levels that people are worried about. And you can see if we head on over to the fear and greed index, fear is definitely in the market. We're sitting at 23. And like I've always said, guys, that's when we need to get to work. When people are fearful, that's when we need to start thinking about our next moves. I'm going to tell you exactly what the move I made today is on Phantom. Now, crypto market, we know that this is a downward trend, but we know what's causing it, right? We know it's the wider market. We know it's the pain in the wider market. So let's go take a look at how the US markets opened up today, and you will see that we're completely in the red again. Okay, so whether it's the Dow Jones, whether it's the S&P, we're super in the red in the markets today, and that is reflective of quite a few things. You got Dow Jones down. Let me get that up. So we've got the Dow Jones down 1%, you've got S&P down 1.25% nearly, and then Nasdaq holding up a little bit better, down 0.33%, as obviously Twitter's rallying up 3% on the news that Elon Musk bid could be accepted. So a lot going on. The market is fearful. We've got some important earnings coming up this week, Amazon, Apple, but again, the fear of interest rates, the fear of inflation, the fear of the Russia-Ukraine war still being there, continue to weigh in on the market. And people are just worried about a general global slowdown, right? It's a bad sell-off now. We're talking about 3-4 weeks of red in the equities market. And this is a fear of a global type recession, slowdown. So it's not just a crypto-specific thing. And this is what we were speaking to course member lives about. This is not a project-specific thing. Let's talk about Phantom, for example. Phantom is not below $1 because Phantom has done something bad. Bitcoin is not sitting at 38,000 earlier today because Bitcoin did something bad, right? The crypto market is down because the equities markets are down. And even the equities markets, they're not down because of earnings. I mean, in certain cases like Netflix, yes. But the broad sweeping redness in the markets are just fears of a potential slowdown. So this is what's happening, right? We know we're entering into a less accommodative environment. Monetary policy is tightening, which means access to capital is not as easy, right? It's not going to be as easy to make money, but it doesn't mean that the economy is not strong, okay? So this is why all of this is going to play out over the next few months. And this was kind of expected after a really easy couple of years where just everybody was making stupid gains. It's going to get, the difficulty level has been notched up a bit. And this is why it's important that we take the time, whether we're in crypto, to study, to learn, and to level up our skills, because it's going to be the survival of the fittest. Anybody can navigate you through the last bull market during COVID, right? You picked any coin and you were doing just fine. And we saw that plenty of influencers, plenty of people, the average layperson, your Uber driver could go and buy a coin and do really well, right? So now we got to actually get into levels where we understand tokenomics, we understand fundamentals, we understand how to read chart patterns. And this is the aim of the game now. Let's go on to Phantom as a very simple example of how we need to monitor this market. You guys will remember that we were entering that bearish continuation pattern. Let me go on to the file to make this very clear here. you'll remember for a long time I was monitoring these patterns. And now as soon as we entered this pattern around here on the 17th of March, as things started getting higher, we're getting to about $1.30 on Phantom. I made it very clear to our members in our Discord and you guys on this channel here that we could be entering a bear flag. This is a bearish continuation pattern. I made it very clear. We drew the trend lines and we monitored it. We saw a couple of fake outs the upside and then we rallied up to 168. Remember that in here? We rallied up to 168. Now, what happened thereafter? Well, we got to 168. If you remember, there was a lot of FOMO at that point. A lot of people messaging me, is it too late to enter Phantom? Is it too late? I want to get in. And you saw these green candles. This is FOMO. These green candles is FOMO. People chasing, people with green candle disease, when suddenly the market's telling them Phantom is great, they wanted to buy and they wanted to buy quickly. Where were you down here at 104, 105 when I was buying and I announced I was buying on this channel? No, right? Because those people have green candle disease. They're the FOMO buyers. We do not want to be these people. And then I made very clear by drawing these blue teal colored lines here that we were entering a descending wedge, okay? And you could see that we broke down from this wedge and I set a price target. As crazy as it sounded when we were sitting at 168 up here, guys, 168 on Phantom, I set the technical price target that sat down at 90 cents, but really I rounded it off to our horizontal support to say at about 96 cents is where we could be heading on Phantom. And where have we got the bounce today? Saw the bounce was at 98, 99 today on Phantom. You've all but hit that price target. We've monitored that together, guys. On each swing, on each pull, every single day, I said, nope, it's just calling off and it's going to move against the downside. It called off again and it moved to the downside. The bears were in complete control in this pattern. The only time we saw some remnants of breaking out from this downward trend was in this channel. You see, we ran up to 122. Remember, I said we had to get up to 134. We didn't. And then we fell back down again. And again, I said we got to get above 122. And we didn't. And at that point, the writing was on the wall. We came down to the bottom of the purple line here and we've broken to the downside. Now, what's next, right? That's our support level and things start to get pretty gnarly for Phantom from here because after 96 cents, which is now we're really going back, guys. So if you guys haven't been around here on Phantom coins for a while, you're seeing my old drawings. This is why I keep the drawings, even though they make the charts really messy. This was the neckline from our cup and handle pattern all the way back in 2021 during the summer. So we were monitoring this, and this is where we initially got a breakout. We ran up to $1.94. That was the good times, right? We ran all the way to the upside. So that was our first level support. Now we're going to have to look at our next level support, which start to maybe come in at around 66, 67 cents. We're going to have to do some analysis around this. So I've got a little bit of support coming in at 83, but thereafter, you're getting back to that 60, 66, 60 cents level. So we have to keep an eye on that on Phantom. Now, again, we're going to have to look at Bitcoin. Are we going to get that support from Bitcoin? Can we start trending upwards on Bitcoin is going to be the question from here. If we look at this chart, which is my weekly view of Bitcoin, you can see that what we need to do is just manage to keep our upward trend. As long as we can keep some of those levels, we can keep this upward trend, because whether we like it or not, this is still an upward trend. We've managed just about here on the weekly to keep this little bit of an upward trend. As long as we can keep this moving, and if the whales can keep the price steady, that's going to be important. But if the whales want to send the price back down again, which would be at around, if they want to buy, let's say, more at 32, 33, then things can start to get precarious because they may want the price to come here. But if they're comfortable buying here, we could start to see our next move start heading to the upside. Obviously, this is going to marry up with the wider global economy. Bitcoin and crypto is not just going to move just yet. I spoke about that in my previous video around, can we get this decoupling? Not just yet. I think a decoupling could happen if equities continue to get smashed. We enter some sort of recessionary environment, and then people start to realize that, hang on a second, Bitcoin is a hedge. It's not just a risk on asset. This is the hedge against the establishment, which is falling down after all that money printing. It's driving itself into a recession. The raising interest rates aren't helping. Maybe Bitcoin can be the solution. So that's what we're looking out for here on crypto as a wider market. Okay. Now, the other things to look at, as I mentioned in yesterday's videos, were to look at the liquid supply. Okay, really important that we look at this. We can continue to see that the 64% of Bitcoin supply was active over a year ago. So the fundamentals are still stacking up, guys. Don't feel too bearish in terms of the actual on-chain metrics are pretty good on crypto. The risk off side of things is not great, right? The markets are red. We know that price action is going down. If you look at the core and look at the blue here, which is your illiquid supply, that's picking up more and more and more as the prices increase. The hodlers are hodling. Now, yes, these lines, the orange and the red, these guys are selling, right? These are buying and selling and moving in the market because they're just looking for yield. They don't care about the bigger picture for crypto. of Bitcoin. They're not here for the fundamentals. And so they'll move in and out as they feel fit for the market. Okay, really important that we understand that. Those are the nuances. Now, what am I doing with Phantom? Well, with me, on Phantom, I executed some buys. I was buying in. I don't think I caught it exactly at 98. I got some at $1 and $1.01, but I was just topping up my positions here on Phantom. I cannot refuse a level, which is a lower low to the buying I was doing at 103, 104. I managed to get it a little bit cheaper. So that's the kind of nibbling I'm doing. I'm buying, and in fact, it wasn't a nibble. It was a bit more of a beefier chunk. But yeah, I'm buying. I have conviction in Phantom, and that's the key. You know, I'm very straightforward. I bought here and I said I'm buying here at 103, 104. I did nothing as it ran up to 168. Everybody was saying, oh, look, Phantom's going to go to all-time highs. Bitcoin's going to run to 100K. The fear and greed index started getting green. Do you remember, guys? We went through to neutral. And I said, I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting back. And then the chart pattern showed me that we could be getting a pullback back to the 96-cent mark. And at that point, that confirmed to me I'm not doing anything. The bears are in control. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to accumulate on my favorite coins. I'm going to continue focusing on how I can increase my income so I can invest some more into crypto, and also obviously look at your staking strategies, any liquidity pools you're providing to, and more of your farming strategies as well. But overall, it's all about building conviction. If you don't have conviction, you will be the one that panic sells right now. And the reality is there is no need to panic sell. The only people that get burnt are those that panic sell. If you have conviction and you've done your research, that's what's going to defend you from panic selling, because this gets tough. This is tough. If this is your first time in crypto and you've bought something, maybe you did buy Phantom at 168 and now you're seeing it $1. The question is, what's going to protect you from selling? Because if you sell now, you've got that 60-cent loss, right, per your Phantom token. That is not fun. But if you had conviction, you're doubling down. You're lowering your cost basis. You're building your conviction in a project. That's really important. Because the reality is, nothing's changed in the crypto market, right? This is all a bunch of global recessionary fears. So there's nothing to do with your Phantom tokens or your Solana tokens or your Algorand. It's bigger than that. It's not even to do with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not done anything. Crypto's not done anything, right? Nothing's fundamentally changed. It's not like, you know, an ETF has been rejected forever, or we've had some crazy regulatory scrutiny, or suddenly everybody's saying, oh no, crypto is horrible, we're banning it in every single country. Like, that's not what's happened, right? There are no fundamental catalysts to the downside. It's just that we're seeing that the economy is worried about a global slowdown. And that's what the fears are around crypto. There you have it, guys. There is a blend of technicals and fundamentals on some of your favorite coins. As I said, I'm continuing to wait for these pullbacks, accumulating, nibbling away, and focusing on building out my portfolio, finding the coins which I'm underweight on, and trying to build those positions out. As always, guys, if you appreciate these types of videos, smash up the like button and subscribe. If you like my perspective, consider joining our course member live streams. Ijaz.uk/member. Link is in the description. What I'm going to do now at the end of the video is, if you have not yet seen the interview I did with the CMO, that's the Chief Marketing Officer of Phantom, Simone Pomposi, you have to go watch that. These are the kind of things that will really help you build conviction in projects. And that's what I'm trying to bring more of that to you guys here, is more interviews with the team, more details around the fundamentals. You guys can build your conviction in a project. And the best way to start is watching the video, which I'm going to link here, which is the interview with Simone Pomposi. Let me know in the comments what you thought about that video, and I'll see you in the next one.